All right, let's go. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the District of Brown Deer School Board meeting. I'm Dr. Todd Beadle, the president, and I would like to call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Verification of public notice, the meeting has been publicly noticed. Verification of quorum, we have all 7 board members in attendance this evening. Approval of the agenda, would someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
So moved.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Bacon. Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor, raise hand and/or aye. Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 7-0. Now, in the reading of our vision and mission statement, our vision is to provide a rigorous education that empowers our students to confidently navigate in our ever-changing world. And our mission is through the lens of excellence, equity, and engagement. We are dedicated to empowering every student with the essential skills to build a foundation for lifelong learning. Since tonight is our regular board meeting, public comments are going on into effect this evening. If you would like to make a comment, on anything that's based upon the agenda that's presented, only on the agenda, you can make a comment, not a question, and you have 3 minutes. What you need to do is state your name and your Brown Deer address in order to be heard. All right, and we will be monitoring. We'll be monitoring the chat if there are individuals that are online with us or individuals that are in person with us. Again, you'll have 3 minutes, your name and address. All right, when we come to that part. So with that being said, let's go to our district communications. Dr. Cotton.
Thank you, Dr. Beadle. Good evening, Board of Education. Catrice Cotton, proud superintendent for the School District of Brown Deer. I'm happy to report events that took place in the district for the month of March. Many activities promote the Brown Deer student as caring, thoughtful global citizens who are interested in serving the needs of others and making positive choices regularly. These accomplishments showcase sports, theater, academics, and community service for only half of the month of March. At the BDE, students from the BDE Student Council took a trip to the Milwaukee Rescue Mission and dropped off nearly 3,000 pairs of donated socks. The students were able to ask questions, tour the donation center, and learn about the impact their donations will have on the community. The announcement of the summer school session was provided to families during parent-teacher conferences. A copy of the new summer school brochures and flyers have been provided to you for your review, so they are sitting there in front of you. Students who participate will receive math and reading enrichment at the elementary through theme-based instruction. Real-world learning activities will provide students with experiences that can be used in their daily lives. Enrollment for our summer session opens this upcoming Monday. At the Brown Deer Middle School, our 8th grade science classes got a visit from the UW-Madison Department of Physics. The demonstrations included Newton's law, inertia, vortex cannons, tornado simulations, Van de Graaff generator, liquid nitrogen, just to name a few. All students enjoy the demonstration, and this type of exposure opens up endless career possibilities for our students. A huge round of applause for our orchestra students who performed at the Brown Deer Orchestra Festival on March 10th. From the middle school orchestra to our high school chamber strings, each group brought their hard work, passion, and love of music to the stage. Our At Brown Deer Middle School, our middle schoolers competed in the MLFA State Forensics Tournament. Our entire team qualified for state with 7 entries. Our entire team qualified for state with 7 entries, making it to the final round. Nadia Cotton took home 3rd place in news reporting, and Amira Enna, Hannah Rutkowski, and Jay Lee Reed and Aaliyah De Jesus both took home 2nd place in group interpretation. Congratulations to all. And then lastly, this Friday, Ms. Peters is taking her science classes to the zoo. Shout out to Ms. Peters for finding a fun, engaging, and relatable way to connect students with their classroom content. And at the high school, of course, our state championship bowlers. The Brown Deer varsity bowling team made up of 6 seniors capped off their incredible season and high school career by winning the school's first athletic state championship since 2015. Our bowlers won the title of Division II state champions, Special thanks to Mr. Scioli for being such an enthusiastic and supportive coach, and our outstanding seniors, Auburn, Zach, Wyatt, Joe, Ryan, and Adrian, for a job well done. Jerry Award nominations. This cast will be easing on down the road on this year's Jerry Awards. Congratulations to our stars of the Wiz for being nominated for multiple performances in the Outstanding Lead Performance and Outstanding Supportive Performance categories. The Jerry's is a Wisconsin High School Musical Award program that honors excellence in high school musical theater. Industry professionals attend productions for over 100 high schools across the state and provide valuable feedback. This year's Jerry Awards will be held in Madison on June 8th. Good luck to all of our students. Ms. Buford took a group of students to the headquarters of Landmark Credit Union to compete in the Titans Challenge. JA Titan is a part of the JA Financial Literacy Pathway, where students compete as business CEOs in the phone industry. JA Titan brings business economics to life as students work in teams or on their own to make financial decisions about production, marketing, research and development, and corporate social responsibilities. They begin to see how every choice made in an organization relates to that organization's future success. Students were able to hear from a speaker panel and took a tour of the facilities. Students in our tech ed classes were able to tour SignaCast. SignaCast is a leader in precision, I can't say it. Thank you. Investment casting, providing a full range of metal solutions to industries around the world. And finally, in the high school, eligible student voters were invited down to register to vote with the help of a nonpartisan group, the League of Women Voters. Mr. Jones brought his entire creative writing class that included several new voters to the registration area to ensure his students were informed about the issues on the ballot. From this class, an additional 9 students were able to get registered. Lastly, the administration would like to thank Director Lisa Walker for her service to the students, staff, and families of the School District of Brown Deer. Ms. Walker has been a pivotal member of the Board of Education since April of 2022. Director Walker, please accept this token of our appreciation for your countless contributions and commitment to educating our students. This concludes my report.
Yep, you gotta do the photo. Gotta take a picture.
Why don't we all take one? Yeah. Got it. Well, you gotta take it out, Miss Walker. Take it out.
Okay.
Take it out. That.
Take it out your packet.
Yeah, take it out the package. And then the base, that's the base.
The base is inscribed.
Yeah, base is.
Gotta quit to get one.
And that concludes my report for the month of March.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Khan. Board members, any questions for Dr. Khan? Yes.
So I noticed that you sent the flyers out and everything for, for the summer session. Thank you for that. I've been looking through the pieces. They look beautiful, and that's the only comment that I wanted to make. I think this is a nice way of, again, showcasing classroom and activities within the district. Put stuff out there in the community. So thank you so much.
I'll make sure Katie hears it.
Definitely. All right, any other further questions for Dr. Khan in relation to her administrative report? All right, let's go on to our next item, which would be our public comment. Anyone wishing to be heard right now, either if you're in person, stand up, and what you need to do is state your name and your address. And again, it is a comment, not a question, and it has to be something related to our board agenda. Is there anyone that's online that would wish to be heard? Lego League?
Lego League?
Lego League isn't on our. Mr.
I know, Ms. Z, and I can definitely get a hold of her in regards to, the Lego League.
Okay.
She was the first one that even introduced the Lego League and robotics to the district. So Kara, I don't know if you can just tell her that I will get in contact. Can you do that? Can you, in the chat, just let her know that I will get in contact
I'm
with her?
here. Thank you so much. Looking forward to talking to you again.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, anyone else wishing to be heard? Alex?
That was.
Oh, that was Alex.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
I
Ms.
don't know if
Z.
there was some, who's up on top of it?
That was.
That's the
Oh, okay, all right, I can't see it, so there's nothing but a
And I
glare.
apologize. I just wanted to give the shout out to Dr. Cotton and to Ms. Andolino and Dr. Harris, who have been the faculty. So please, let's make sure that this program continues. But I will work with Dr. Cotton directly.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. All right, anyone else? Here you see no one. All right, let's move on to our item number 4, our consent agenda. Would someone like to make a motion?
Dr. Beagle, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the minutes of the February 11th, 2025 special board meeting, the February 25th, 2025 regular board meeting, the schedule of voucher payments via check, ACH and wire transfers in the amount of $1,216,915.84 in the general checking account and the food service account, including Fund 10, 21, 27, 39, 46, 50, 73, and 80, and the March 18, 2025 school safety drill updates as presented tonight.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. A motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bacon. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor would raise hand and/or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously 7-0. Thank you very much, Ms. Ashley. All right, let's go on to our next item, which is our item 5A, our business office update. Mr. Clemick.
Good evening, members of the board. Just a few quick items this evening. First of all, just a reminder, we did discuss at the last board meeting about increasing our district capitalization threshold, 5,000 to 10,000. And that was our intention. We talked about the fact that federal guidelines have changed, so that we're trying to match that, so that from a county standpoint, we can what we would have to do for federal grants. And so I did include some language in there. The changes are reflected in the policies part of the policies you're going to review tonight, from a fiscal standpoint that have those changes in them. The one thing that we did do, based on feedback from our new audit firm, was to use the verbiage of when any item that would be capitalized would be having a useful life of more than 1 year and a per unit or significant per group cost that exceeds $10,000. That's because it's not just basically on each item being over $10,000, but if they work as a significant group from the auditor standpoint, they would want those to be included as a capital object. So, and I gave you the definition there. That's a set of assets acquired as a group near the same time with a single objective that has a significant value in aggregate, even if the individual assets fall below a capitalization threshold. So one example would be the Mercata camera project, where none of the cameras or any of the hardware that costs more than $10,000, but in aggregate of the entire project being over $400,000, that will end up being a capital item for us going forward. So again, we're going to make the change and it'll be included in the policy updates that you see.
So question, would that be under PO 6114 or 6231 or the procurement piece? Or would it be
It's under
625?
property, there's 7,000. I can get the number for you, but
See, the only reason I'm asking is because if we're going through the Neola policies, and this is something that's actually going along with that, I wanted to make sure that we all understood.
Yeah, it's in there. Yeah.
It's in-
Okay, all right.
That's part of it. We met with them and we've made the changes and those are part of what you don't have to do separate policies. for-
Right, I know it's all the same thing, but I was just letting the board members know because there's so many, these Neola policies and what you're speaking about right now. I just wanted everybody to make sure that they got it, they understood which one, which
Property
PO.
inventory 7450,
Mhm.
one of them. And then
Because it seemed like it should go over multiple.
there were two policies that it was mentioned.
Okay, all right.
I think also procurement of federal funds and grants.
That's the one that I had talked about before when I asked about the procurement one. Okay, all right.
So again,
7310.
um,
Yeah, with the, that's we put a 10,000.
there's just, that's,
That's
there's
personal
also
property.
procurement of 6325, but it might be 70.
But that procurement one was 6325.
There were two policies that we reviewed again with, and we just, I wanted to confirm on that language, that since originally we were $5,000.
All right, I just wanted to just make sure that we all kind of understood where we were at, just in case if it ever comes back up again. Okay.
Okay, and then, so that's it, no other questions for that one, then, we are approaching a discussion on defeasance, so we, as the board did in fall, when we approved the tax levy, you approved a $1.1 billion increase in the Fund 39 levy to keep the total levy flat, so we will be performing a defeasance. It's kind of like prepaying, but it's a little different mechanism, where it comes off our books, but the bond still exists for the bondholders, so I'll be working with Baird and meeting with them next week. My plan, they should have information, preliminary information for us on April 8th for you to see, and you'll understand what the projected cost savings will be for the interest down the road. And then we'll work on getting all the paperwork together. And then on the 29th, you would actually approve the resolution authorizing the fees. So you don't have to approve anything on the 8th, but just generally as the board just saying, yes, go forward with the work to do that. And then you'd actually approve it on the 29th. And then we pay that, we'll have a closing date shortly after that, probably around May 1st. And then we'll send the $1.1 million to the bank and it comes off our books. Any questions on that?
Board members, questions?
And then last topic really is we have begun the process of onboarding our new benefit consultant. You know, a couple weeks ago, we had some changes. And so we did, you did approve a new relationship with R&R Insurance. And our team, including Ms. Jackson and a couple of people in the business office staff, met last week. And we are pretty excited about this partnership. There's already some positives that are coming along with the process. They're working on just finalizing quotes with our current vendors to make sure that we have the best option for some of our lines of service. We are not going to make a change in health insurance. We're not making a change in dental or vision. Those are locked in, but we might look at potential shifts with our life and long-term and short-term disability products. So we're just finalizing that. There will be some changes to our open enrollment process that what our staff has been used to over the years, but we are working on finalizing that and we'll communicate that out to the staff. That'll be held in May. But in advance of that, R&R will be providing several sessions that we will schedule that will allow them to meet with our staff to explain our benefit package in more detail for them so that they understand. I think that's one of the things that we probably haven't done as well as we could have, is making sure people just understand like all the things that are part of the package. And so even things that you don't necessarily elect, there are the things that are there. And there are some things that get added this year as a part of this new relationship. And so when I don't have any quotes, I will just say that we did get some very positive news as part of this. We are going to be receiving an extremely, and I'll use the word extremely favorable renewal with WCA Group Health Trust for our health insurance next year. Our premium rates will actually go down. So in a market where 8 to 10% is the norm for just regular health inflation, we had a really, really good year, and R&R has helped leverage that to get a little bit of it. So we'll have more information and details of that, but that's a give me a little bit of a sigh of relief from a budgetary standpoint, not having to come up with several $100,000 just to maintain the insurance. So we're very excited about that.
Does that mean that you have a healthy workforce?
This year we do. I mean, it does shift, but yes, our claims are way down this year.
Let's tap some wood.
So yes, very much. Any high cost claims previously they were like, chronic condition that were ongoing. Very positive feedback. So
Great. Like that.
Okay, and especially, not having to add any other dollars to the budget.
Well, the overall aggregate won't change.
Extra.
But what could happen though, just so you're aware, is that it could cause people to jump on our insurance. So,
Yeah.
if they compare, if we're cheaper, it might mean that, so it might end up costing us more for more people, but you don't know, but at least we're not.
Well, I can-
Several hundred thousand
I
dollars.
can live with that because then, if more people are using their insurance, that means they're happy with being here at the district and they are more tied into us and stuff because the insurance, not only their job, but also the insurance. So
So,
so.
but we're just happy that it's,
Yeah.
we're excited about the cost of this. And then finally, I did share with you the February treasurer's report out there. Everything again is still tracking, as anticipated. I didn't get any questions, but if you have anything that you need me to look at, I'm happy to, talk about it or look into it if I can't answer it right off the bat. But again, we're tracking very well. And again, that's also considering that last year had a $1.3 million surplus. So, even tracking at the same page, we won't have that surplus, but at least we know we're still tracking.
Okay. Board members, any questions in relationship to the treasurer's report? Or the business office, report?
That's all for me.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Clement, all right, let's go on to, our next item would be our, approval of new hires and resignations, and from what I saw. Ms. Jackson?
Good evening, board member. At this time, there are no new or resignations.
All right, we will take it. Definitely.
I will say, however, we did get our first two candidates for 25-26 today, so we will be working on starting that negotiation process. So hiring for 25-26 is underway.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's go on to our item D, facilities and ground updates. Matt?
Good evening, Board. How are you this evening?
Good.
I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the facilities and grounds. Facilities and grounds is actively getting ready for spring sports. That includes soccer, baseball, softball, tennis, and track and field. So our facilities is heavy into getting everything prepped and ready for spring sports that are about to start. Our baseball team just happened to be on the baseball diamond this afternoon, so that brought a sign of spring coming. So we are also getting ready for graduation as well. Make sure that all the signs and all the traffic control stuff is all set up and ready. Making sure that we have the appropriate staff prepared and ready, both the security and with all of our maintenance staff as well. We are also preparing for summertime cleaning, getting all the supplies, all the needs that we need for making our school buildings, both with elementary and middle high school, set and prepared for the 25-26 season. We are also just attended this week. We had a meeting at the ASC for safety, as far as knowing where to go for tornado drill, fire drills, and for lockdown drills. So we kind of reiterating to our staff about that. That is one of many new protocols that are going to happen here. My staff, me and my assistant Tiffany are going through all the maps, getting ready, prepared for the tornado drill. The state mandated tornado drill for April 11th. So we're getting set, prepped and ready for that, going through all the maps, making sure that where children are going safe, that our staff know what our procedures are and what the expectations will be for that. After that, the one last thing that I have for the board is that at the beginning of March, I attended the WASCA convention to get my certification in the Wisconsin School Safety Coordinators. So you guys now have certified safety coordinator.
All right. So if we're in trouble, we know who to go to, right?
Yes, sir.
There it is.
And that should have been a part of my report, so I charged to my head.
That ends my report.
All right. Board members, any other questions for Matt? Yes, Ms. Mackey? Yeah.
Oh, I just said congratulations.
Okay.
I just have a quick comment, and it's more of a frustration again, because we had a tournament this weekend and there was some grass, which really is frustrating in the land, and I did see two police officers up here on campus. Normally I call them and tell them to come up here. I didn't have to do that because they were already on campus giving out tickets, but what's the matter with people? Why do they come to our district and think it's okay to park on our grass? I mean, really, nothing frustrates me more. So, I mean, we talked about like signs, no parking on the grass, maybe we need those. People just.
We got 'em. We're good.
I
And
mean,
that-
it just makes no sense that they come up here and they park on the grass and they park in the fire zone. I mean, I was happy to see the police here. Because, I mean, like I said, I call and tell them tickets.
Yeah, but people were ticketed. We got, matter of fact, Dr. Cotton, we got some phone calls in relationship to getting tickets and we just let them know. There's no park on the, just, you shouldn't park on the grass and everything. So we've got the signage. Matter of fact, we just had a conversation with Matt again and stuff. So we're getting ready to update our signage in relationship to not parking on the grass and everything else.
You should say, what district are you in? When you go to that district, do you park on your district's grass? Is that okay there? Because it's not okay around here. So, okay, good. I'm glad you know.
The next
A
time,
couple tournaments, it's been terrible.
yeah, the next time you come here, you'll probably see signage up.
I mean, I live close, so I'm around here a lot on the weekends, like up and down 60th a lot, and it's a major frustration.
It is, that just brought me to just a question, Matt, in terms of ticket sales. You're not, this district is not in charge of the ticket sales, correct?
As far as what?
As far as the tournaments that get hosted.
No,
No, those are WIA, that's WIA.
Right, because I think they oversold too. So-
They did. It was too many people.
Right, there were just too many people, here, yeah. I just wanted to just kind of bring that to the attention because, yeah, I don't know what kind of communication
Right.
happens between us and WIAA in terms of the max.
Mhm. Number of tickets that can be sold in relationship to that.
Accommodate comfortably, the folks in that building, which leads to then a bunch of problems that you're talking about.
And so one of the things that Dr. Kyle and I also spoke about, like, you know what? I think one of the things that we potentially may end up having to do is when we do have the things for WIA or whatever, that they also know that there's a parking lot down at the elementary school. We just need to have signage to let people know that you need to walk this way in order to be able to get to the building. And then potentially even speak back again with the church that's over here.
Yeah.
Either the church that we have the staff park in, or also the other church that used to be the old library. And potentially, maybe we need to have conversations with them as well too, to ask is whether or not we can go ahead and utilize their parking lots as well too.
I am in contact with the pastor from Shalom Church. We've been conversating back and forth to see if we can get permissions for bigger events, if I can give them a heads up if it's okay.
But I mean, we know we don't need permission for the elementary school. though. So as long as
We
we have,
have 55th Street parking lot and we have elementary school.
Yeah.
we can have some sandwich boards maybe put up.
Yeah, and then we also got the other part, that other little parking lot that's right there where the soccer field is at. So I mean, we've got different places or whatever. It may not be as convenient, but you know what? Hey, it is what it is. You can find a place to be able to park, and if they go anyplace else, they may have to park 2 or 3 blocks away and stuff. So hey, it is what it is. So. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Russ? All right, let's go on to our next item, which is our hygienic management presentation, I'm sorry, by Sarah. All right, Sarah, you're on.
Welcome. Thank you for having me. I am your new district nurse. I started at the end of April of last year. Dr. Cotton had asked me to prepare a presentation on hygienic management. That is what I am gonna go right now. Is my PowerPoint up there, or do I just go? I know. So, do you want to share with you? Got it right there. It's so Belinda, I'll let you scroll up if you want. Start here. It's the next program. So basically, hygienic management, in my opinion, goes beyond the cleaning of the classroom. And it's the basic care and education of our students so that they can excel in the academic environment. I'm gonna go through some of my cheers of this year and what I'm doing to try to improve the health of the children so that they can do better academically. Some of the programs that I am still continuing from the past, I do vision screenings on all of our K-5, second and fourth graders. I also do hearing screenings on all of our first, third, and fifth graders. I do all follow-ups with these families if the students did not pass the vision or hearing screening to ensure that these families are getting the resources that they need so the kids can get whatever devices are necessary so that they can succeed in the classroom. I also continued with dental and cleaning screenings. Dental clinics were done at the elementary school. I had them done between February 10th and 12th. We saw 175 students. I was told that was one of our largest numbers. What I did this year is I tied in the consent from the parents with registration, which I think helped get more students. I am going to extend the program. I'm doing a small group in the high school this year, and next year I will be extending this program to the middle high school. I'm also looking to extend this program so that our children are being seen twice a year. That way I know they are meeting all of their dental needs. After I had seen all of these children, I got 22 children who had severe needs. We are talking children who had anywhere from 7 to 12 extensive cavities and abscesses. I did all the case management myself to ensure that these children have seen a dentist. Every single one of these children has now been seen and had the care that they needed. I worked with families on what their insurance was. I reached out to dentists around us to ensure that these families would be able to be seen, and I helped the families set up appointments.
Sarah, I got a
Yep.
question in relationship to the, for the dental.
Yep.
And I'm about to date myself or whatever, but I know when I was going to school, like the people would come in, like the dentist thing or whatever, have like the tooth guy or whatever. And then we all take these little red pill things and chew them.
Better than that now.
I'm just saying, you know, but again, but as a school, the whole school, everybody did it. So everybody's chewing the red pill thing. And if you had whatever,
Red or blue, red or blue.
you know, then it was kind of like that. So now are we doing something to where is this, are we doing this for every student or are we just?
Every student is able to sign up for it. So what the families are signing up, if they consent, the children are getting a free screening, the teeth are getting cleaned and examined, and sealants are being put on. So I have to have parental consent. From that, we can't just do everybody. So of our elementary students, 175 families chose to sign up. What I'm hoping is now I am teaching different classes to all of the students at the elementary. The more that the families see me and are more familiar with me and seeing what I'm doing, that every year I just keep increasing this so that all of our kids are meeting their dental needs.
All right.
Sarah, did you mention who you partnered with to provide the service? Which dental?
I did Dr. Nolte. It's with Dentist Smile. It's a state of Wisconsin sealant program. So that's who I partnered with. And then our high school, I'm doing the high school a little bit differently because I want to see how this works. I'm actually having a mobile dental clinic come. They're going to do the screening on the children. And then if the children have any needs, the parents can consent for further dental care, which will be conducted on this mobile unit. I want to see how this runs and see if that would be a good fit for the elementary. I just want to try it out before I go full speed ahead.
Okay, all right, sounds good. I'm just sorry, I had that question because I just had flashbacks. Then when you turn around and said that total 175 out of our, how many elementary schools?
A lot.
do we have? Like 700 or something?
Yeah,
So that's like, you know,
a fraction.
yeah, so I was just kind of wondering if you got 175 or like that, with 22 with really, really critical issues or whatever have you, I guarantee you throw another 100 in there and you'll probably.
I wish every family would. I am working on how I can get more information out to families to keep like testing it. My thought is the longer that you have me here, after you see everything I'm doing, the more happy and familiar these families, staff members, everybody is with me, you're gonna get more and more people coming. I guarantee you. So I'm hoping next year I can tell you 300 and some, and we're doing a whole week of dental clinic.
All right, cool, because that's something we probably need to really publicize, period, point blank or whatever have you, because that whole dental piece is huge. The fun fair?
Yeah, is that past already?
No.
No.
Okay. And that would be a nice opportunity to do some marketing there, actually.
Yeah, because you got pretty much every kid that's running around there. Yeah, okay.
And she's amazing though. She said, how you work with the insurances, it's like, wait, they have insurance and they still have those kind of.
Well, because of what happens is a lot of our students are on state insurance and not every dentist will take Medicaid. So then I have to struggle with the families. What type of HMO under the Medicaid do you have? Then I have to try to find a dentist. Then I gotta make sure that dentist is actually taking Medicaid patients. So it's not as easy as it sounds.
And there aren't that many dentists in Milwaukee that will take families that have here.
Sorry about that, Sarah.
You know what? Ask me as many questions as you have. All right. Okay. So projects for 2024, these are projects that I have now started. When I first came to the school, I wanted to make sure that I had absolutely all accurate information in Skyward. So what I did working with Kara and the IT team, who was amazing in helping me through all of this, I came up with a custom form that every family had to fill out at registration. That information then compared to what was in Skyward and dumped anything that was not jiving together into a spreadsheet. Over the summer, I had to update and fix 875 records in Skyward. That was a massive undertaking on my own. I then went into Skyward and I went through all the codes. Codes are things that are associated with like a health room visit. Why did you come in? How did I treat you? And what happened after? I completely went through, merged, modified every code so that I can present you at the end of the year with really accurate data so you can understand what we're doing in the health room. That was another huge project that I worked with Kara and the IT team. They were amazing in helping me literally go through everything. And then another need that I noticed is our allergy students. I went into Skyward and found out that I could put critical alerts in with the food service so that when a child with a peanut allergy, shellfish, whatever, shows up and scans their card, they now turn red so that the food service staff is very well aware of who these students are. That was new for this year as well. And then I think we had a peanut table in the past, but then it went away. I have a specific peanut allergy table in the elementary school so that those children who do have peanut allergies are sitting in one specific table to try to contain any allergic reaction that we would have. I also started the implementation of a medical response team. So what I have been doing is the 3 principals picked out who they wanted on their MERT team. I then did an education with them. I then partnered with Project Adam. We are going to be HeartSafe certified next month. And we are the only school besides Whitefish Bay who is HeartSafe certified in the North Shore area. So that was a big undertaking this year. And our certification, I think our celebration is May 5th. So then what I do is, like tomorrow is our drill for the elementary school. I throw a mannequin out and I time them and we go through a whole entire drill to see what would happen in the event of an emergency. And then we debrief and discuss what happened, what went well, what didn't go well. And then I work on educating the staff on how to deal with emergencies. Because of that project, I then decided that we needed 3 more AEDs. I did run-throughs on how long it took us from the furthest point in our buildings to get to the AED and back. It was too long. So we have since now added 3 new AEDs. I have 1 that has been added to the middle school, 1 is added to the elementary school. And then I felt that there was a need with sports starting, spring sports, that there was no AED outside. So what I have done is there is now an AED underneath the ASC by the locker rooms. In the event that there is a spectator or whoever has a cardiac arrest out on the field, there is another AED easy to access.
Right, so now with that, with our AEDs or whatever, because the majority of the time they're kind of stationary and they're put someplace. So are the next 3 that we're getting, are they the portable units that you can turn around and you can take them with you?
You can
rather
take
than
it
stationary?
units anywhere you want.
Okay.
So the athletic director always has an AED on her, but my feeling was, what if she's not at a practice? What if she's not there? She's sick, whatever.
Right.
Now there's an additional AED in a cabinet downstairs that can go where it needs to go. On top of that, I also added Narcan to each of our AED cabinets and trained all of the staff on how to administer Narcan in the event of an opioid overdose within the school. I also did hands-on CPR. Since then, I have become a CPR instructor for the district and will be holding CPR and first aid classes to all the staff members. That was new this year. This has not been done by the nurse. The other thing I began as I started here is I went through both health rooms. I organized, cleaned, redid, and made them beautiful. So this is the example. This is my elementary health room. I didn't take pictures of the high school because this one was just so much cuter. So that is the health room now for the elementary. Vaccinations, this is another thing, hygienics, not getting sick, especially with the measles going on down in Texas. Our compliance rate for the previous school year was 92%. When we talk about 92%, that means either the children are fully immunized or they have a waiver on file. This year, we were at 99.9% at one school and 99.7, I think, at the other school. I started back in 2023. At the end of the year, I had realized I had 500 non-compliant children, and this was going to be a massive undertaking for one person. So I started at the end of the year calling families, emailing families, talking to them about immunizations. I then held a clinic with the North Shore Health Department in October so that we could try to get more students immunized if families were willing to get them immunized. I have another clinic that I am holding on May 14th with the North Shore Health Department. I am targeting the 6th graders and the 11th graders because the following year they will have new requirements to try to get a jump start on the requirements. So it's not so difficult for me in fall. And then in fall of 25, I'm going to target the K-5 students because they have new requirements as they turn 5 to try to make sure we have the most kids immunized. I've also dealt with working with the North Shore Health Department in regards to the measles outbreak taking place in Texas. I've already sent letters to all of our non-compliant measles students to let them know you're under immunized, you're not immunized. If you are traveling, this is going to be a problem, trying to educate them on what is measles, what can happen to you, and then giving them links to go to the North Shore Health Department. The North Shore Health Department and I are both in agreement. We are not going to do a vaccine clinic for measles yet. They want to wait until if measles comes to the state of Wisconsin and it becomes a state of emergency, they can get a massive amount of vaccine very quickly, and then they will not have to have rules on who they can vaccinate. They can just come here and vaccinate everybody. The way it works right now, only certain students can get free immunization from the North Shore Health Department. So that is why I am not quite dealing with the measles. It's still in Texas. I know at some point it's gonna get worse. Education. I have spent the last several weeks doing hand hygiene for every single class in the entire elementary school. I go in, I give a fun presentation, we watch a little video, and I do science experiments with every single class. With our little ones, we did where you take litter and they see how soap works. My older kids, we took bread. They didn't wash their hands, some washed their hands, and we put it on the bread to see what mold grew and what happened. And then in the 5th graders, we are doing, I have fake germs with a UV light. I have the teachers shake their hands in the morning. We go through the whole day. And then when I come in, I show them where all their germs are to try to get them to understand why we need good hand hygiene. I've pretty much gotten through everybody. I just have a couple more classes I'm finishing up this week, and then I should be complete. And then I did tell the teachers, I did work on presentations on healthy eating for the students, because I do see one of my biggest, if I could fix something, it would be the nutrition of our students. Like, that is a whole nother presentation on what I feel needs to be done. So besides that, I did a 2-day human growth and development class for all of our girls. I did 4th and 5th grade girls because I have noticed that our girls are developing sooner. And I think by not hitting 4th grade, I am missing a chunk of girls who may not be getting that education. I then partnered with the PTC and provided deodorant and menstruation supplies for all of our female students. It was the biggest hit ever. They were so excited. They got to ask me every question you can even imagine, and they got truthful answers. So that was good for them. They asked me the next week if I was coming back. I don't know how much I can talk about periods, but. It's all you.
I have a flashback. Oh my. When I was the principal, I ended up with an incident with a sixth grade girl came out, I was like, okay, we'll figure this out. So I just had a, yeah, okay, thank you.
Flashback.
So girls are happy, so we did that. So then, focusing on the education of the staff. I do not only serve the children of Brown Deer, I do service your staff in a lot of capacities. The first thing I did this year is I did a PowerPoint for all of our special ed assistants on proper toileting and diaper changing. So to meet just the basic needs of our special ed students, to make sure that they are getting the hygiene that they need in regards to toileting. I do blood pressure readings on many of our staff members and discuss lifestyle changes, give advice, healthy eating, exercise, you name it, I go through it. I've done Narcan training on the staff. I also met with every single teacher at their staff meetings, and I had a whole presentation for them on what to do in an emergency in the classroom. So that I think by now they are all extremely careful on if a child would have an issue in the classroom, what they need to do. I also did training for the MERT team for each of the buildings. And then in order to be Project Adam certified, I had to do a presentation on identifying a cardiac arrest, which every single staff member in the district did. So hopefully now if anything happens, we all know what to do. In regards to staffing, I am the only district nurse. I have a health aide who is at full-time at the elementary and at the middle high school. When they are sick or they take a day off, I become the health assistant for the day. I have so far staffed 16 days of being a health aide between the two schools. I also provide lunch coverage every day to both of the health aides. I love this time of being with the students. It allows me to understand what is going on with our kids. What am I seeing? What are they seeing? It gives me a more hands-on. That is like my favorite part of my job. And then services that I provide, but are not limited to, I've done lice treatments this year, dental, asthma, you name it, under the sun. I feel like it's happened. Almost done. So in summary, I believe that my actions have been a positive addition to the Brown Deer School District. I believe the health of the student body and staff has improved since I've come, and I believe that my dedication is felt not only by the staff, but the students and the families of our district.
Wow.
Great presentation.
Wow.
But we're gonna start off with this excellent job. Seems as though that you are definitely in the midst of it and doing all that. I'm just glad that you're not doing the germ piece with the adults in the room or whatever. Because, I think that we'd all be calling in sick tomorrow and the day after. And everything else like that and stuff. So, man, I appreciate it. Board members, questions for Sarah in relationship to this?
Yeah, so Sarah, that was great. You're excellent. I love school nurses.
Really?
I do.
They're perfect.
The Project Adam certification that she's about to get is really big. It is a pretty hefty undertaking. So when I was here, I tried that process. So I need to come to that celebration with the balloons I told them to bring when I was here. So I'm gonna make sure I try to make that for you because that's really big for us to be Heart Safe certified. So I'll be here hopefully with the balloons.
Okay.
If I'm not here, I'll make sure the balloons.
I'm wondering, is there a particular sort of condition or diagnosis that
is more prevalent in our district?
Asthma. So what is gonna happen is I am gonna present all my data for the year. I'm working on it right now in June for you guys. You will have an understanding of the extent of the asthma issues. What I will be putting in place for next year, we will have stock inhalers in the school along with a flow chart. One of my biggest, like, my most difficult things is getting parents to understand, I need the paperwork for the inhalers. I need to understand what needs to be done in the event of an emergency, and I need an inhaler. A lot of our students, we probably have 20% asthmatics in our district. I probably have
20%?
Oh, yeah. If I ran the numbers, I'm gonna tell you probably between 15 and 20, I think. You'll get the numbers in June. It'll be hard numbers. I probably have 5% inhalers.
Wow. So I know that we did the purification systems during COVID. Is there anything else we could potentially do to help that population?
I would say it would be looking at what chemicals we use in the class, what chemicals we use in the buildings can be a trigger. It would be telling staff members not using air fresheners, not using Airwick. That kind of thing, like getting staff to understand, like, this is the irritants that it can cause. I don't see a lot of that. I will say, like, I'm gonna knock on so much wood. We have not had a massive asthma attack here. So that makes me feel like there must be good management with the air filtration. What we're doing must be working, or I would be seeing constantly kids coming in with asthma related issues. I think the biggest thing is me getting the stock inhalers in the school is huge.
I was gonna ask then, Ms. Ramos, in our budget, I mean, can we, do we already have this in our budget someplace or whatever to be able to buy all these inhalers? And then I guess the other thing too is when they talk about the allergies and stuff, the peanut allergies and stuff, do we? All right, do we have like money there? What's the?
So this is we're gonna give another cheer to Sarah. So what happened with epinephrine, it used to be a shot and we would get them for free. They went to a nasal. I already have our nasal, I get it for free. The staff's already been educated on it and it's in that box over there. And so if anyone has an allergic reaction, I already have the Neffy, which is the nasal, and I have Narcan in that AED. So all the staff is trained on how to use these apparatuses, when to use it, and they're already stacked. It doesn't have to come out of our budget, it's all free. The inhalers, I already contacted numerous pharmacies. I only need to have 2 inhalers, one here and one at the other building. And then what you do is you use cardboard spacers, and then you can use the same inhaler for a bunch, like as many students as I need. And then we're gonna put their disposable chamber in a Ziploc bag with their name labeled on it. We can keep using that until it is dirty or doesn't seem like we should be using it. The same student will use their same one. So I already have a system going for this. I will say that Erica has been amazing. Anything I need, I have gotten what I need. And I am my life before this, I ran 2 manufacturing companies for my parents that were in complete financial distress. I turned them around and had them profiting within a year and a half. I am very fiscally responsible. I do not ask for something unless I really need it, and I keep it bare bones of what we need. I do not spend $1 extra than what I need to.
All right, sometimes I have a little meat on that bone too, though, sometimes. All right. All right. Any other questions? All right, appreciate it. Good job. Thank you very much. All right. Now, let's go on to our next item is approval of the early college credit and start college now applications.
So this evening, I'd like to share with the board information regarding 23 students who have requested permission to enter into the early college credit program and high school special agreement for their senior year. Students are seeking amendments for UW Milwaukee, Marquette, and MATC, and the forms have been completed by the students and reviewed by Counselor Ms. Allen. The documents will require a signature of the board president, which I think you already took care of.
So
13.
23 for the spring,
For
for the upcoming school year. Oh, okay.
All right. All right.
Something in here about this? Was there something in our packet or did I see that? But that's presented, but I guess.
Well, this is what we do every year and stuff to be for our students for college. All right. All right, would someone like to make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the college credit program and start college now applications as presented.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Welch. Motion has been made. We have a second.
Second.
Thank you very much, Ms. Robinson. Motion made and seconded. Any questions? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor will raise hand and or aye. Any opposed? Hearing and seeing none, motion carries unanimously, 7-0. All right, Ms. Frost, you should have all of that paper. All right, sounds good. All right, let's go on to our next item, item number G. Did I miss something?
No, I just wanted to ask. So is that around the average amount of students that we usually get for that program?
Actually increasing. It's increasing and fluctuating. Last year we had 36. This year we have 23.
counted 23.
And so it fluctuates depending on like how they qualify. So we have many students who apply, but they have to meet like the academic threshold, they have to meet the attendance threshold, and they have to get specific endorsements that they're able to successfully complete the classes. But it has increased. I think the first year, this is my second year, the first year, I think we had like 12 or 13. So it's becoming more popular among students.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's go on to our item G, approval of Board of Canvassers. I guess that'd be Dr. Cotton, or would that be Ms. Frost, or would that be Ms. Ashley?
Actually, I think I'm gonna present on this matter. As everybody knows, April 1st is election day. And what happens is after the election, myself and two other canvassers will meet to certify the returns of the election. And so we meet up on the Monday following the April 1st election day. According to the Wisconsin law, this has to happen within that week. Somebody asked me, why was it that specific day? Is because it is state law. And so we pretty much get together and we validate the election results. And so it is a public matter, and so we have to bring it before this board
For approval.
for approval.
Yeah.
Are there any questions?
All right, would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Anisha Beadle, Cynthia Stokes Murray, and Farida Daniels Ashley as the School District of Brown Deer Board of Canvassers for the upcoming April 1st, 2025 spring election as presented.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Walker. Motion made. Do we have a second? All right, thank you very much, Ms. Bacon. Motion made and second. Any discussion? You can see none. All in favor with raise hand and or aye. Any opposed? You can see none. Motion carries unanimously 7-0. All right, let's go on to our next item. Item H, our Neola policy review, first reading.
Included in board docs this evening are the overviews of each policy that have been updated and or revised. The overview includes information about a specific change or updates that have been made to existing policies. The policies are listed under the following book, starting with the wording ready for review under drafts.
All right. Anyone have any questions in relationship to that first reading from the Neola policy? The only reason I actually really asked the question when Kevin was giving his report is because part of what he was talking about is actually part of the Neola policies, within probably like two of them, or maybe possibly even three. But any questions in relationship to the Neola policies? All right, hearing and seeing none. I don't think we. So with that being said, would someone like to make a motion?
No, just Prince. Hey, 80s gal.
How's it going?
What is happening?
Somebody,
All right, someone that's on our Zoom, could you please mute yourself?
School board meeting.
It's Ariel.
It's RM.
RL, there we go. Good job.
Okay.
All
I'd
right,
like to make a motion to approve the first reading of the Neola policy review, including
just go from the first one to the last.
items listed as listed.
And present.
As presented.
Good job. Thank you very much, Ms. Farrington. Motion has been made. Do we have a second?
That's that.
All right, I go with Ms. Robinson. All right, any other further discussion? You can see none. All in favor, raise hand and or aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You can see none. Motion carries unanimously 7-0. All right, let's go on to our next item, our SWSA legislative update. The only thing I really want to talk about, because it actually seems as though they possibly affect us in the future, is watching for bills on the referendum, is the SB 81 operating referenda. This bill eliminates reoccurring operating referenda and limits non-reoccurring operational referendum to no more than 4 years. SB 58 referendum tax transparency, and SB 61 referendum and an equalization aim. All right, so those things are things that actually would affect us as we continue to look forward and talk about possible referendum in the future, and being able to do that. And some of the legislative things that are actually going up right now, which are bills that are going up to be voted on.
Can you send that to everyone?
Yeah, no problem. All right, that is the SWS. That's all I want to talk about for SWSA. And our next would be our WASB.
So Dr. Beal, thank you for that, because WASB usually does a really, really good job of watching these referendums and anything that could impact the school district. So I am saying to all of you as board members, sitting board members, to really go on that website. It is chock full of information, particularly pertinent information that impacts us. The second thing is that, yes, April 1st is an election. And WASB does have a really, really good new school board member gathering, and they host these gatherings around the state. And so I would ask that you would go to the website to figure out the closest event around the new board members gathering. And basically those new board member gatherings, particularly if you're a new member, will provide you with information related to code of ethics, related to, what the role is of the board and that kind of thing. So.
They sent the invite for the one for our area.
Oh, okay.
Don't remember the date.
Is it April 17th?
Sometime in April.
I think it's April 17, 22 through the 24th.
Are they pretty much, because I went to one, are they like the same type of?
Pretty much, except, laws change every year and our obligations change from year to year depending on the registration. So it really doesn't hurt, to just, kind of reacclimate yourself to what your role is and how we should be interfacing with each other and how we interface with the community and those sorts of things, right?
No, the one they sent is for April 22nd at Pewaukee High School.
Okay, okay, because I have April 17, 22, and 24, so. I'm not sure where, but the 22nd is at Pewaukee High School. Okay. And that concludes my report.
All right,
Dr.
thank
Beal,
you.
I think, was anybody able to attend the Day at the Capitol earlier? A few weeks ago.
It was on.
That was a separate one.
March 12th.
Okay.
We went to everyone.
Okay, you're not.
Okay, no, I did, obviously, we didn't go, but, there were, just some general feedback that I heard through my business officer regional meeting that, for districts that did go. It does sound like it's gonna be a very contentious budget season. I think there's a lot of animosity toward the 325 for 400 years, thing from last time. If the courts don't overturn it, I think, the general consensus is, the legislature has the opinion of that's all the money you're gonna get, like new money. It's like, it's gonna be that, and there's not gonna be anything else, going forward. There may be some appetite for special education funding, which does help to some extent, but I think maybe that's also why you're seeing some of the, attempts at maybe restricting referendum ideas, going forward. So I think that there was a sense that, it's possible that we won't even have a budget by July 1st, and that they're just prepared to let money roll over, so maybe it's like it's a little bit more contentious, so we'll see. And I know they just released, so it might behoove us at some point to reach out to our legislators, because now we have 4 of them to at least engage in some conversation. But they also did announce the joint finance testimony. They go around the state, and one is coming up the week of April 1st at Paper Park. West South, that'll be the Southeast region one. So and they usually have a large contingent of choice advocates that show up. And I know there'll be some business managers that'll be appearing in superintendents and some other people supporting public education as well, just trying to see what we can do. But just to prepare you for the uncertainty of the budget season, it sounds like it will be a little bit more of a rocky trip this time.
We got an email if anybody's free Saturday. There was something at Nicolay. Check your email. There's a Senator Drake.
Yep, Senator Dora Drake is going to be there for a listening session. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. You are,
It's in your email.
Meredith, you have it already. Yeah, we all got it. It's from Senator Drake.
No, it's from Nicholas True.
But that's her,
That's her staff.
that's her staff person.
That's who it's from.
Yeah.
That's in your email.
Yeah, yeah, so, yeah, I saw already. Yeah. All right, okay. Thanks, Ms. Ashley. All right, Ed Foundation.
We are just preparing to open the scholarship, application for the year. And that's all we're working on right now, so.
Okay. Sounds good. Park and Rec.
The next meeting is April 1st. So it may be rescheduled. I don't know.
So they have the same day as the election?
She proposed a new date, but I don't know if people didn't answer. So she didn't tell me the new date. I'll send it when I have it.
All right, thank you very much. All right, we'll go on to our item number 7, our board planning calendar. March 24th through the 30th is spring break, so there's no school. April 1st is our spring election. The 7th, the Board of Canvassers will be at the Village Hall at 8:30 a.m. The 8th, special board meeting at the ASC. The 15th, CISA, 1 at Brown Deer Job Fair. April 18th, Good Friday. 29th, regular board meeting. May 26th, Memorial Day, and May 31st, high school graduation. Thank you so much. All right, so with that being said, we're on item number 8. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
Dr. Beadle, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you very much, Ms. Spankin. All right, motion has been made. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you much, Ms. Farrington. Motion made and seconded. All in favor will raise hand and or aye. Any opposed? Never hear that one. All right, carries unanimously, 7-0. I call this meeting adjourned at 7:07 and 57 seconds. Man, I'll get those numbers.